with our directorate to collect informations about the accidents that are taking place in other factories, which have not taken place in your factory today, which is going to happen tomorrow. You should get the information today so that you can act it, not to get the situation tomorrow.
So that's absolutely correct, because we should get educated
and
without losing our own.
Correct. Yes. That is why I am telling you is, if you want to learn from your own mistake, you have to lose a life. Otherwise, you cannot learn. It is definitely good without losing life. If we learn it, it is definitely better. And learning means it will give an inspiration to also implement. So two things to go together. One is we must learn also. Number two is we should try to also implement from management level, from the department or site in charge level also. And the site in charge can only act if they get the information. And the site in charge is responsible for something. How they will get it? The separate department must feed them. So that action will come. I most welcome anybody comes to me. I will definitely hand over all information. There is absolutely no problem. Even when I was at Sambalpur, I was inviting the safety officer of other factories to visit Bhushan and to give advice. But best they can do it. And the management first told that why we will allow other people. I told, they are getting salary from that factory, but giving advice to you at free of cost. Still you are here. But later on they agreed. So the point of interest is, a same person is going to the unit every day. You can ignore and overlook certain things. If somebody else is coming, he can find out. In a meeting conducted by CIA, where I was called as a jury, there now the judges started asking that you have not done this, not done this. Then I volunteered from my side and I stood with the participant. I told, your point is, it is a meeting for the best practices. Once they are discussing on the best practices, why you are discussing on the worst practices now? A CCR system was changed in that way. Earlier, now everybody boss was writing about the CCR of the subordinate. Now they told no. The subordinate will start his CCR. He will say these are my best things. Then according to that, now otherwise it was 50 only. Because my boss does not like me, he will find out all bad things from me. Means we have got a clearance of 40%. To commit 40% mistake is a clearance given to us to declare I am first class. And accordingly, a clearance of making 70% mistake is given under the Act by Government of India. Then I am passed. Mistakes cannot be eliminated 100%, and if you are not allowed to make mistake, you cannot become experienced, cannot do work. Because experience comes from failures, and an experienced person is required by the management. So if you want to make a person experienced, you should allow him to make mistakes, but calculated within limits. But we don't do that. That is also not good. Otherwise people will not work. Why? When I was reading in class 6, I was asked by my class teacher that you come in a song, the annual function. Now 10 students they call that you have to sing a song. Then after some time he told me you come. I was very happy. Then I was allowed to stand here. Then after half an hour, then told these people are accepted. I mean I am rejected. So I analyze what is my problem. Then I asked one of my friends, you don't ever sing well, but you are selected. Why I am not selected? Nah, because you sang, I did not sing. You understand?
Yes.
So a person who will not work will never commit mistake. So if management asks you that don't commit mistake, means you allow him not to work. So please allow him to work. Please allow him to commit mistake, but see that they don't mistake up to more than this. That is required. Otherwise you cannot make people explain. That is what my feeling. Because what I see, there are many people they will never work. That thing will come. So that thing you can, whatever help you want from our side to for this information sharing, what is the cause, etc., we will definitely give you. Next. So what he was doing, when he finds that there is no customer, he leaves one. It goes to the top. The young people, kids, they see it. Now they try to again purchase. A young boy was looking and he saw that balloons are moving. He finds different balloons like red color, yellow color, white color. They want to start. So that is the answer given by the shopkeeper, that it is not the color of the balloon, but what inside it matters. It is not the color because of the hydrogen gas. So like this, that is called attitude. Everything is possible by all of us, but there should be attitude for this. We should take things in a humanitarian point of view. We never expect that our colleague departs us. So if we don't like, then it is our responsibility to see that he also works safely. Now if that feeling comes, do the same thing. So that is what it means. Next, by all department heads. Somebody else should not do SOP for you or assembly for you. We must sit for ourselves and we have to think that we have brainstorming session, thinking, can there be any accident by doing this? If so, then what are the steps to be taken? Safety committee meeting माने किए बुझुଛନ୍ତି मते जण कहले who is a member of the safety committee? Safety committee members will be framed by the management. Management प्रति department को जनको safety committee member करती. तेणु who is a designated safety officer declared by management? कहीं ना दे ठीक है ना किए असन कौन है अपन असन आप किए असन अच्छा अपन सेफ्टी कमिटी मीटिंग अटेंड कर अच्छा व्हाट यू डू
सर उसमें हमारे जो 8 वर्कर्स हैं, हमारे जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स 8 वर्कर्स मेंबर्स हैं और हम लोग स्टाफ में से 8 स्टाफ हैं। हम लोग हमारे जो
यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द सब कमिटी मीटिंग डिपार्टमेंट नहीं सेंट्रल सेफ्टी कमिटी सेंट्रल सेफ्टी कमिटी मेंबर कहीं ना थी
Apex.
Anyone who is a member of this point of interest is in a safety committee meeting. The purpose is that suppose we are having 20,000. That's why we have fragmented it. We have made suppose 20 subcommittee or even more. Now in a subcommittee, now suppose there are 200 people, including contract level. Now you make a committee where there are 10 members. The reason is that 10 members will represent 200 people. Now each member may represent 20 people. What I want to focus is, we never find that whenever there is a safety committee meeting is there, any safety officer is a now member there. Now he will telephone to the people. Sir, time हो रहा है, please come. ऐसा हो चुका है ना नहीं? Now people are coming at right time. But today I am happy that people are before time. But in safety committee meeting, I find that they are called by your convener. You come. That is number one. Number two. Now instead of 400 people, now 20 people have been called. Now each one is responsible. Now the safety of average 20 workers. So the member who comes to attend the safety committee must discuss beforehand with the 20 people average to whom he is representing that today is a safety committee meeting. Let us discuss what are the hazards which I will discuss in the committee because I am a representative of U20. That is never done. And once the meeting is also over, he never comes back and asks that 20 people that this is what the discussion is there. Possibly that is not a good practice. What is required is each safety member, because he is representing a mass, the views of mass must be taken before attending the meeting and it should be communicated to the mass after attending the meeting. If a system of this will follow, definitely it will improve. For that, a checking arrangement should be done. How? Now, immediately after the meeting, after 2 days, the safety officer should go to that department and ask to any person that, do you know what is discussed in the safety committee meeting 3 days back? Suppose he is able to answer, so the member is good. If he is unable to answer, the member is good for himself. So we should not promote the people who are good for themselves, because safety is a teamwork. We will promote the members who are for the team. That is what is one part which is required to be. Then very important is the middle one, is the safety officers. There should be a assessment of the safety officers internally by the management, what they are doing. When we are giving the acceptance letter, we are giving a guideline. It is required to be evaluated, and you must find out the methodology how to evaluate. There should be a responsibility, and they must be accountable. And accountability will only come if there is a regular assessment of the performance of the safety officers. And it should not be done by only the HOD of the safety department. Because safety is not only the responsibility of the safety department. We all are responsible for this. So each and individual now suppose a safety officer is in charge of power plant. The HOD of the power plant also give his comment on this. Like this, there should be assessment procedure. Then only they can sharpen their edge. Otherwise, the way they are going, it is being done. No. We have to go on changing. I have told you earlier, in foreign countries now, they don't ask people to come with helmet. Recently I had gone to Kargil, they gave a presentation. They tell from this point we don't allow anybody without shoes and helmets.
In fact, I wanted to tell this thing because it appealed to me so deeply that I have told him also.
So then I listened to it, then I told all the people that why you don't allow people without a helmet from this point. Then they told that something may fall on their head and they may get injury. So I told them that management has given assurance to the people that up to this there is no risk of anything falling on your head. From this onward, there is every risk that something is going to fall on your head. Is it a good management? So in foreign countries, now they say, now no helmet is required. If you are the best management, you are now sitting here, you are not using a helmet. Why? Because nothing is going to fall on your head, or that may suppose that tubelight may also fall, but it is not going to make you fatality or like this. But in work site, that things are there. So a good management is one who will arrest the chance of anything falling on your head. That is the first grade. But a class 3 management is one who will insist you that put on helmet because something is going to, there is chance, is going to fall on your head. Please try to think this into your mind and try to eliminate these hazards. Please make your work environment safe and eliminate the chances of anything falling on anybody's head. That will be the best.
At this point, I will speak few words, if you permit, sir.
Sure, sir.
That number one, let us implement this thing that any loose items, nuts, bolts, hardware, whatsoever small parts, place so that it doesn't make hindrance to the walkway. Any platform, anywhere, let us put all these. And all spanners, let us develop a culture like electrical people are using in transformers, that whenever we are working with spanners, these should be tightened with cotton tape. Religiously, if we apply this, lot many fatalities will reduce. Because at Korba, I heard that one accident took place when a bolt of 200 gram, it fell down. The guy was wearing the helmet and pierced through the helmet and it entered into his brain directly, and it was a fatality. So please take care. It's a very vital thing Let us also make a culture in general that we should also work without helmet. Let us achieve that thing.
The Factories Act, personal protective equipment is not a mandatory under the statutory provision of law. I repeat, using personal protective equipment is not a mandatory under the Act. So, there was a time yesterday when we are unable to provide the safe conditions. At that time, for the protection, we are telling that we have to make this at least so that things can little improve. But now onwards, industry like yours, we should not avoid accidents by only using PP. We should see that there should not be such many chances. That first and second grade that I have already told, elimination or suppression, barrier, these things must be put into practice. First grade, second grade, then this is third grade. So safety committee meeting also please make some innovations on these things, that people must involve themselves, they should involve their team to which they represent. Then definitely the very purpose of the safety committee meeting will be achieved. And in many safety committee meetings, there also discussion goes on what is happening in the colony, like this. No, the safety committee meeting is meant for the factory. Let there be no discussion like this. It should be absolutely confined to the factory premises. Next. Career advancement should be linked with safety. In Maharashtra factory rules, it is already there. ଆପଣଙ୍କର ବି ଏଠି କଲେଣି, ସେଟା କଲେ ଭଲ ରେଜଲ୍ଟ ହେଉଛି. When I was at Sambalpur, so there were a lot of accidents. He is also not responsible for this, because now various departments in charge are different, and one person of one department is made the occupier manager, and he is responsible for what is happening in other department where he is not having any control. I also believe here Mitul Rao is in charge of the SMS that he was telling, or TRI. Now suppose something happening in power plant, he is not 100% responsible. तो कुछ नहीं है. I am not responsible. In this case, what will happen? So what? So considering this, I discussed this. We have to take people into task. थोड़ा responsibility होना चाहिए. Then the police, they started arresting the safety officers at Sambalpur and Jharsuguda. Whenever there is any fatality, who is the safety officer? So they started arresting. Then it again came to my notice. Then I told Mr. SNA, we have to take care of the site, your departmental head, the site engineer of the contractor, contractor supervisor. They are the persons who are actually responsible in the field to see the safety. But later on, it gave very, all the in charge like you, etc., they become geared up, because they saw that their colleagues have already gone. So in consideration that our term is coming, they started becoming very safe. It has so happened in this in a mill where the ladka, and son of a DG, retired DG, he was the manager. The police also took him. Then a phone came to me in the morning. Please, he has got no connection, etc. There is one GM is there, but GM on that day was on leave. So his term has come. So like this, the point of interest is, instead of somebody else to drag it out and we become sensible, it is better that let us become sensible now. In many, this management like, you have made career advancement is good. What I want to say is, now suppose how to upgrade people. Like suppose one safety officer, he is looking after SMS1. My point of interest is, if a person is not having adequate knowledge on the process of the SMS1, how can he find out what are the unsafe acts and conditions? Except he will see the visible ones. That is the reason why we want there should be an engineer, should be a safety officer, or a diploma holder should be a safety officer. Now our act is going to be amended. In any factory involving hazardous nature, science graduates will not become safety officers. We are trying. The very basic principle is they must understand the process. If you don't know the process, how can you find out the hazards? And whatever hazard, suppose you say fire extinguisher is not there, first aid is not there, a railing is not there, tow guard is not there. These are all visible things. Even a non-matriculate can also find out. What is important is, if a person cannot enter into that, the process, and the best thing is, if we cannot do it, let us uplift the existing officer. How? Now we can ask the safety officer in SMS 1, let him give a presentation on the process of SMS 1 to the officers of SMS 1 and the hazard associated. By that, they will upgrade. I don't want that you do this, but thing is, now we should start upgrading people. How to upgrade? The best method is, we should ask them, you give a presentation. Say briefly what is the process, and then from the process, what are the hazards which are there and what we can do it. Let them go to the net, let them discuss with other people. By that, definitely upgradation will be there. So I repeatedly tell, this type of thing should be there. At least each engineer of your section should give a presentation about the process and the safe workers to your people. That will also upgrade. He can think little differently. If he is asked to give you the assignment, that will be better. What you are making is, whenever there is an accident, you block. That also gives discontentment. I have seen, suppose in the entire section of 500 people in power plant, one person has made a mistake, all 500 people are suffering. By that, it gives a mixed repercussion. The person who has done is good, but others who are doing very good also, they are penalized. We don't make any system of doing that. That is another part. So, we should also make a system that people will not commit mistake. We have to identify that he is out of the lot, he is little weak. Then he should be asked to give a presentation, give repeat presentation, so that for sake of humiliation, he will try to go deep into the matter and try to upgrade himself. Or otherwise, instead of you say go out, he will not be visible to you. If you make 3-4 settings like this, either he will improve or you are not required to tell him. He will do his own. So that is another method to get a good teamwork with good people with good attitude. Next. The working environment, I have already told, the working environment does not become unsafe so much by the activity of nonsense, but by the inactivity of the good people. Next is thank you. This is all about what I discussed with you, without anything that if I have hurt anybody by taking something, because what my point of interest is regarded as the number one in the state, that is one part, but we also don't get blamed for you. So any question is most welcome. Yes?
Suppose supervisor has ensured all the safety norms, height permit has been taken, he has ensured all the PPEs, also worker is skilled and he is performing the work from previous last 3 or 4 years. Even though if any accident occurs, then what to do? How supervisor can improve, because anything is not in limit of his.
Correct, very good. This is a very valid question. Let me take you 3 points. Number 1, there is a provision under the Act. If the occupier or manager who are prosecuted under the Act can at any point of time claim that they are not responsible, they have taken adequate measures, and Mr. X is responsible who has failed to do it, then the responsibility will fix to X. X may be another man or X may be the culprit himself. That is there, that is a statutory backing is there. So, if you are doing good things, it is being recorded and you are able to produce evidence and documents, then you are free from the responsibility of that accident, number 1. Number 2, But I have told you, supervisor himself is one part, but he is not the whole. That's why I have gone little still deeper. That is the co-worker principle or concept. Because you cannot give one supervisor against one worker or for 5, 6 like this. It is practically not possible. So that's why it is better that you develop a good habit. The person is not doing this because he knows, but he has not put this thing into practice. Suppose I am here and the light is out. If I can go and by knowing visibly that this thing is there, take it out, this will only possible when we make a practice. So we have to develop a good habit repeatedly. Then only it will come. What you are telling is absolutely correct. There are people who are trained, educated, knows everything, but intentionally does it. The reason is they are not accustomed with that habit. That's why we told that safety is a teamwork and we have to develop, make a safety culture. You have to put it into habit. It will only come if you go for repeated practice. These things are required to be judged by the department heads or supervisors that this person is little, he may not do this. These people have to be pointed out, to be counseled. And there you have to put your attention. So like that, after some time, they will be coming to the guideline. That is what the thing is. So you don't think in that line that if you have done certain good things, you will be penalized for the mistakes of others.
What we have to
Thank you.